I will call this public hearing to order. My name is Ed Lewis. I'm President Pro Tem and a member of the Community Development Committee. I'll be chairing the hearing tonight. The subject of the public hearing is ordinance number 126-2022, which would change the zoning classification of the property known as parcel number 6045597, 152 acres located at 56 5th Street Southeast, Massillon, Ohio.
You've got a couple things mixed up there.
It is correct that it's 152 acres. 0.152 acres located at 56 5th Street Southeast, Massillon, Ohio, from RM1 one-family residential to RM1 multi-family residential. The purpose of the rezoning is to allow for rental units and office. On August 10, 2022, the Planning Commission did not give its recommendation for the rezoning. City Council will now consider and vote on the matter. This is an opportunity for the public to make their opinion known on the issue. It is not a dialogue or a question and answer session. The chairman may use his discretion in asking the city official for clarification on any issue. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Independent on September 15, 2022, as required by law. For the record, we have the following council members in attendance.
Kramer?
Present.
Gregg?
Here.
Harvard Smith? Here. Vern Kane?
Now here.
Lewis?
Here.
Lombardi?
Here.
Slutes?
Here.
Sneed?
Here.
And Violin? Here. Roll call of 9 present.
All right, let the record show the President of Council is also in attendance this evening. At this point, we will give anyone who wants to speak and an opportunity to do so. We ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address, and then make any comments you'd like to. So if there's anyone that would like to speak in favor of the proposed change, please come forward.
Hello, my name is Robert Williams. I reside at 2195 Eagle Circle, Southeast Massillon, Ohio, in Augusta Lakes. I am here in support of the change. I personally know Mr. Eric Ray of Recon, Ray's Recon. I've known him for 11 years. He has done work in my house. He's done a professional job. I've also seen properties that he has worked on. I've seen properties that he has renovated, and he has done above and beyond. I can rest assure you whatever words he gives you, he's a man of great character, he's a man of great integrity. I know that all he would do is upgrade that property that is currently just an empty eyesore. So I am highly in support of its change. I know Mr. Ray, he is a minister. He has been a minister for 6 years at the Jesus spot. And if he says he's going to do something, we can take it to the bank.
Mr. Williams, if you please sign the sheet. Anyone else would like to speak in favor of?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zina. Mr. Eric has remodeled a house for me and my husband recently. It's a rental property, and I haven't known Eric for a long time. However, honestly, from the first time my husband and I met him, he just has a great personality. Responsible, straightforward, transparent with everything. And I do know that historical buildings are very important to a community. However, we know how Ohio and a lot of states in the United States have a need for more housing. And the rental properties, not everyone can afford a home. And I think having people like him coming into the community, helping renovating properties, because so many properties here in Canton and Massillon and this whole Stark County are just left there on the side. Yes, they are historical, but they don't look good. They don't make the community look bad until we have a person coming, remodeling, and offering new housing. So yes, I am supporting Mr. Eric. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Priest. I live at 5245 Peninsula Drive, Northwest Canton, Ohio. I've known Eric Ray for approximately 2.5 years as one of my ministers at the Jesus Fund, and also a person that has done work through me at my daughter's home here in Massillon. I believe it's 841 10th Street would be her address. As far as character goes, I want to echo again, if Eric says he's going to do it, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it the right way. I also was involved recently, partially financially, with one of his projects. He promised me a certain dollar amount on my return, and it was done. I have no financial gains in his current endeavors. Okay, so I would not be involved that way. But I'm here to speak on behalf of his character and Eric as a person. Thank you very much.
Could you please sign in, sir?
Yes, sir.
I love going last, so I was trying to stall and wait. But I'm Gail Dancy. I live at 2014 Tennyson Avenue, Northeast in Massillon. I'm going to speak, I'm for the project. I'm going to speak to Eric's character after I speak to council to give you something to think about again. When I did neighborhood housing services and built houses in Southeast Massillon, the whole community was against that. So that's the first thing that I want you to consider, that we as people don't like change. So when something is going to change, we speak out loud against it, whether it be good or bad for the city. Everyone was against me. Let me just say that. I had no support to do what I did. But I built new houses on Walnut Road, 3 new houses that changed the value of everybody's property, that increased tax dollars to the city of Massillon. Everyone benefited from that. Then we built Sinclair Village, and everybody benefited from that. So now we have a man that wants to go into a neighborhood, and I didn't know the property was historic, I just heard that now. But there are people who are against that because it's changing what they're used to having. And they don't want to see any change in the neighborhood. That's just how people are. What I want you to consider is what he wants to do. How will it benefit the city of Massillon? How will it upgrade property values? What increase in taxes will it bring to the city of Massillon, since we're the city of champions? We want to do things that make our city look better, not to keep anyone happy. If I lived there and I was against it, you should be against me, because I'm one person, not the whole city. So I want to see council consider how this is going to benefit the city. Now to Eric's character. I just found out, because you know I had the little heart issues where my memory kind of went away. I've known Eric for over 20 years. I didn't realize it had been that long. I knew him before he was a minister. I knew him before he was a contractor. I've known him as a young man, almost a teenage young man that I helped get jobs for way back in the day. So that's how long I've known him. He is a man of character. He is a man of integrity. And whatever Eric says that he's going to do, I'll put my life and guarantee on he's going to do it. Whatever he's going to do is going to be to the benefit of this city and not making anybody angry. But I want council tonight to please consider only the benefit to the city, not who's mad, not who doesn't like it, only the benefit to the city. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor? Seeing no one else who wants to speak in favor, I will ask anyone who would like to speak against the proposed change to come forward.
Hi, I'm Kathy Summers, and I live directly across the street. And I just want to say right now, I do not know this gentleman. I have nothing against him. I'm not questioning his integrity in any way, shape, or form. But I have brought all kinds of information about this community, which I live in, and there is way too much going on in here in a negative way. There's too many rentals. I'm a realtor. I would love to see make Massillon better, make our communities better. No more than any neighborhood should be 50% or less rentals to balance it out for property value and all of that. On my street alone, there are only 5 owner-occupied properties. The rest are rentals. And we've got a huge parking issue. We've got problems with people that don't take care of their homes and maintain it. The building department is constantly out there because there's so many problems. He may go in and he may do something very nice there, but that's 3 more rentals. That's at least 6 more cars. That's more problems for us to try to live with and deal with. And so I'm not opposed to him as a person in any way, shape, or form, but I am opposed to what's happening in our community, and we care about it, and we're trying to make it better. We're putting money into our homes. We're trying to make them better, but when you've got slumlords directly across the street depreciating value, not caring at all, and all over the place where, I mean, if you drive up and down that street, I brought lists of rentals and look at the rentals and the condition. And he may not be that way, but we're already dealing with a big problem. So why risk adding to that? Thank you. Oh, I forgot one thing. They brought up in the thing about having his business there, and in the last meeting they said that would not happen because that is not an approved building.
Hey guys, Matthew Heck, 54 6th Street, Southeast Massillon, Ohio. Live in the neighborhood as well. I'm sure everything he says, everything he's going to do is upright and upstanding, exactly what he says, and I'm sure he's done great work for everyone. I think he's a great person. Do not personally know him, and I'm all for him fixing up the house. But I believe the rules are, which is in place, is if it's a non-whatever, multiple family, we're switching it back. That's where the issue lies. It has nothing to do with his character, his work, his anything else. It's simply on the aspect of rezoning this piece of property to have multiple residents living in it. I know it's a huge house, but you're opening up the door for, again, every other big house that's in that neighborhood that wants to be rezoned and redone and turned into a multiplex to happen. And where do you draw the line? So again, it's already been placed. There's an individual in here that tried to do this. Dennis.
Right here.
There it is. And he couldn't do it.
Guilty.
He couldn't do it, and he took everything, all his time and effort, put into the house, turned it into a beautiful home, raised his family and everything else. More than happy for him to do that. But again, when you look at that community and that environment, I had a conversation last night with an individual, 48 years old, that had moved his parents out of a house on 5th Street. He said he remembered growing up in Wellman, he remembered being there, and he said the neighborhood is not quite what it was when he was a kid. He said he remembered his paper routes, running around. And we sat and talked last night, and he said, I truly believe the reason it has dropped off, there are no more owner occupancies in that area. And because you have people who don't have invested interest, that they're renting, that as much as he'll do great work, that value will gradually drop and drop and drop. But if we set that precedent where we can change each individual large house into a multiplex, you're going to continue to watch that demise of that community. Thank you.
Anyone else to speak in opposition?
Hi, I'm Dennis Howard. I live at 54 Pine Street. I'm Wellman and Pine. I also own 50 Pine. And we've lived there for 25 years. And if I try not to show the 4 pictures to anybody that I'm afraid I would get certified. It was derelict, then vacant for 30. It was a nursing home for 35 years, and it was vacant for 10. And we bought it, brought it back from the dead, and we put probably 110,000 cash in it. And if I paid myself $1 an hour, it'd be about a $2 million house. And we love it, and I think that all of those houses on every neighborhood in Massillon, if we were to multiplex them and duplex them, we have a major parking problem to begin with, because there were no cars when those houses were built. In fact, 50 Pines started out as a carriage house. It literally had a horse and buggy in there. And I'm against rezoning any of these. And when we first started pulling permits, 5 people from the building department came out to see what I was doing. And one of the guys said to me, you know, this is single family. I said, I've only got one family. And we've raised 4 children in there. One of them is still there. And the argument that it's too big for a single family, we have 4,200 square foot of space on 3 floors. And it had 1 bathroom. It now has 3 bathrooms and 2 half baths. So we've poured a lot of love and money into it. And we live on the best lot in Massillon. And the nice men from the Parks and Recs come and mow it for us. And my wife says, well, it's better than owning it. And I'm in there working one day, and some guy comes up through the back of the park and said, do you mind if my running club runs on your property? Because it looks like we own it all. I'll go ahead. So I am definitely against rezoning these big old places. And just because it's big doesn't mean it can't be single family. And we've got 4,200 square foot on 3 stories. So that argument doesn't hold water. It does take a special person that wants to bring these back from the dead, but they're out there. Thank you for your time.
You guys sign in, Dennis.
Just
You
sign
gotta
it.
sign in, Dennis.
And I'm sitting there thinking, why didn't people remember to sign in?
Hi, my name's Dory Heck. I live at 54 6th Street, Southeast. I'm not against him redoing the house or living in it or renting it out. I'm against him turning into a multi-family home. We don't have space for it. There's not enough parking. And it's historical, kind of story. Like, you just can't put 7 people in one house. Thank you.
You gotta sign in too.
That's it.
I'll sit here and make sure people sign in.
Hi, my name is Nino Millen of 511 Wellman Avenue Southeast, and I'm here just to state that I'm opposed to the zoning change. As a lot of my neighbors have said, parking has been an issue over the years. I've seen it. I think a change in zoning would not stabilize the neighborhood. I think it would destabilize it. And for a lot of the reasons listed here, I'm opposed to it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jim Huebner, H-U-E-B-N-E-R, and I live at 55 6th Street. I'm also a member of the Wellman Neighborhood Association, and the back of my shirt says, and a number of the shirts in here, you don't have to move to live in a better neighborhood. And we work very hard to keep our neighborhood looking good. It's very difficult, especially with rental properties. I have a real hard time with people talking about Mr. Ray's personal integrity and such. It has nothing to do with this, and I want to reiterate that. We don't have anything against Mr. Ray himself. If he wants to put a single-family unit in there and fix it up, we're all for that, believe me. But a 3-unit complex there is just not a good fit for this neighborhood, and I remain opposed to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huebner. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Robin Bloom, 846 Wellman Avenue Southeast. I'm also opposed to it. It's a precedent you set. We start doing spot zoning throughout the whole city, and then what do you get? I mean, then what's the point of having zoning if we're just going to keep picking and choosing what gets to be what? Obviously, all the other issues that were, decided, there's quite a few other, Wellman residents that are not here, that are opposed, and a lot of them are Canton residents, just like myself, and, they're like, that's why we left Canton, because we don't want to deal with things like that. So just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Seeing no one else who wants to speak against the change, I'll ask if there are any comments from members of council.
Angie Campara, 829 Wallace Southeast. I am opposed. We have so many rentals in our area now. When we walk our dog around the block between Hazel and 6th Street, I pick up trash every day from people from some of the rentals. Even some homeowners, I pick up trash every day because nobody else will. Tired of it. I'll keep doing it, but I'm tired of it. Nothing against anybody's character. It's just, it's zoned, single family. Please keep it that way. Thank you.
Members of council, do you have any comments to add to this? We have to keep moving for a second, sir. If you just have, we will have another public speaks portion at the beginning of our next session that has to start in 6 minutes, so I have to get through this. Anybody from council? Mr. Gray?
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Just want to put on the record, this property is in my ward. I've attended many meetings regarding it, both the initial meeting hosted by Mr. Ray and the neighborhood meetings that have happened since then. Nobody in any of these meetings, or even now, has ever questioned Mr. Ray's integrity or his plans for this property. The issue has always been the fact that we have to change the zoning to make it multifamily, which is what he wants to do with it. I've not heard from a single resident of Wellman in favor of this project. The folks that spoke this evening in favor are, I think, mostly in favor of Mr. Ray, which I don't disagree with at all. But it was not necessarily, as you noticed, as I noticed, none of them were from that neighborhood. So the residents of the neighborhood that would be most affected by this change have all spoken opposed to the possibility of changing the zoning. I know that we talked about the impact on the city of Madison, but as I said, I think as a member or as the councilman for that ward, I need to take into consideration the people most affected by it, which are the ones in that neighborhood. And therefore, I will vote no on this proposal, and I urge my fellow council members to do the same. Thank you.
All right, this ordinance is on the council's agenda for tonight and will be voted on. There will be a section at tonight's meeting that starts in about 5 minutes in which the public can speak again. So if you wanted to speak about this and did not get a chance during the public hearing, you will have an opportunity to do so in about 7 minutes. It takes about 2 minutes before we get to that part. So with that said, this public hearing is concluded.